Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a good night. I want to take a look at identifying parts of speech real quick. Here's a simple sentence. The dog ran under the house. Now let's look at each word and try to see what part of speech each word is. Here's our first word. The. Of course, the is what we call an article. Remember, an article is a type of adjective that tells you which thing you're dealing with. The dog, a cat. So we talked about that just recently. So article, the, a, and. So the is an article. Okay, how about dog? What part of speech is dog? Yeah, dog, of course, is a noun because nouns are person, place, or thing. And a dog is a thing. The next word is ran. What part of speech do you think ran is? Is it a noun? Person, place, or thing? No, of course not. Ran is a verb, which I'm sure you guessed, because it's an action. We also have being verbs like was or is, but ran is clearly an action verb. How about, well, I see under, let's come back to, because that might take a little more thought. How about the, we already said, was an article. That was easy enough. And then lastly, house. What part of speech is that? Okay, again, that's a noun because, again, nouns are people, places, or things, and a house is a thing. So let's come back then to this word here, under. What part of speech would that be? Is under a noun? Is under a thing? No, under is not a thing. You can't touch it. You can't see it. It's not an idea either, so it certainly under is not a noun. Is under a verb? At first you might think so. You can go under something. But is under really something you do? You know, run is something you do, but is under something that you do? No, it's not. So under is not a verb. It's not a noun. Is it an adverb? Does it describe how someone ran? No. Is it an adjective? Does it describe a dog? Does it describe the house? Those are the nouns in the sentence. Is it an underhouse or an underdog? Underdog is a superhero. That is true, but that's not who we're talking about here. No, under is not an adjective. Under is a part of speech that we haven't really talked about yet. Okay, it's called a preposition. A preposition is a part of speech that does three different things. One is it shows the location of something, and the way I remember that is it has the word position at the end. Sorry for me squeezing in that little N at the end. All right, my O is not so good either. That should be an O. And so, yes, a preposition can show location. It can also show time of something, and it can show also direction that something took place. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. Here's a document we can take a look at. All right. You can probably see here on the screen a little explanation of prepositions. It says the top prepositions of location, time, and direction. Preposition is a word that shows a relationship between words in a sentence. Many prepositions show relationships of time, direction, or location. Common prepositions include the words in, on, at, over, under, with, after, and during. A preposition begins a prepositional phrase, which we'll talk about later in the week. So an example of a preposition showing direction would be, the dog ran toward the door. In that sentence, toward is your preposition. Prepositions can also show a relationship of time. The dog ran after lunch. Well, there was lunch, and then the dog ran after lunch, so it tells you kind of when. So in this case, after is your preposition. And also, they can give you an idea of a relationship in terms of location. The dog ran into my room, not out of my room or around my room, but into my room. So into is the preposition in this case. So you see in each case, the preposition could show you direction, could show you time or location. So let's look at these sentences at the bottom. It says circle the preposition in each sentence. Write time, direction, or location to tell what kind of relationship the preposition shows. So the first one, the dog ran to the basement. Well, the preposition is what we need to find. Which one? Is there a word that shows time, direction, or location? Well, that's an article. Dog, we did this before. Dog is a noun. Ran, that's a verb. To the basement. Location, direction. How about the word to? To shows direction, doesn't it? So we would then go to the next line and say direction, because that's a preposition and it tells us direction. Do the same in the next one. She jumped into the laundry basket. She jumped into the laundry basket. She jumped into the laundry basket. Okay, so is there a word that shows us direction, time, or location? I think into. One of the reasons I remember that is because there was an example up here where into was given as a preposition. So I think that makes sense. But does into give me direction, time, or location? Well, she ends up in the laundry basket, so that's location. And I also noticed up here that into shows location. So I'm going to write location here. All right. Okay. So why don't you try the rest on your own? Identify the preposition and then write whether it shows a relationship of time, direction, or location. Good luck, and we'll talk more about it in school tomorrow. Have fun.